I'm Meredith with ExtremeTerrain, and in this special series, I'm featuring customers' Wranglers that have build pages on our site. If you're not familiar with these build pages, on our website, you can check out individual builds that customers have done with loads of photos and even a list of mods that they have installed on their rig. For this build spotlight, we're going to be catching up with Will from California about his 2016 JKU. You guys are going to see in just a minute that Will has really built his Jeep to the nine with a ton of armor, performance mods, and lighting. If you are interested and want to check out more about Will's Jeep, you can find his page on the site. And for those of you watching here on YouTube, you can click the link down below to check it out. So what do you say we connect with Will and check out his build? Hey Will, thank you for connecting with me. I just wanted to jump right into it. You have an awesome build, and I wanted to see what got you into Jeeping in general and what took you that far, what your inspiration was.
Oh, thank you. Well, it's an ongoing process. As you know, once you own a Jeep, you never want to stop. It becomes a project vehicle, but you're always wanting to make changes.
It's a tumbleweed effect. Once you start with one mod, you jump into the next, and then all of a sudden you end up with this just badass rig. I see you have a lot going on the exterior, the rugged ridge fenders, you have the Smittybilt cladding. Could you just give me a virtual walk around of what you have going on?
Sure. So when I started out, the Jeep was bone stock, and I hadn't planned to actually go to extremes and really put as much into it as I have, but it became an addiction. And it's a very fun addiction. It's turning out to look like a beautiful customized project vehicle. A lot of people that see it, they always say it looks like an armored vehicle.
It does.
It does. And the coloring kind of makes it look that way as well. I Line-X'd the whole vehicle inside and out. So now it's got a two-tone gunship metal gray with the black, and it turned out looking pretty good. I started out with the hood first, the DV8 heat dispersion hood, and made it two-tone. So in the center it's black, and then the outside it's the lighter gray. The inner fender wells, the outer fenders, and the frame and the shock towers have all been Line-X'd. So anytime you're up in the woods, you're going through tree branches, little pebbles and rocks are hitting the outside of your Jeep, it definitely protects it. The inside of the Jeep was completely gutted out, and the whole floor inside the vehicle has been Line-X'd.
That's a project in and of itself. Could you tell me a little bit more about the inside as well? I noticed that you have an Alpine head unit as well as the camera system. So do you have a camera system for that?
Yeah, it's quite elaborate camera system. So I do a lot of Jeeping by myself. And when I'm in the Jeep by myself, you don't want to be getting in and out of the Jeep when you're looking for your clearance and ditches and boulders and what you're climbing over. So I put on a camera system that looks at the line in which you're going on. And I'm able to switch between camera views and see what kind of angles I'm approaching at so that I can make adjustments accordingly without getting out of the vehicle.
Yeah, your Jeep is your own spotter. That's incredible.
So the inner roll bar in the Jeep, I think, was a big addition. I had to do a lot of modifications to get that roll bar in there. It's the Smittybilt one that modifies it, puts the extra framing around the front windshield, which is the first thing that gets destroyed if you roll over your Jeep.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Well, it gives you some extra points to grab onto when you're hitting rough terrain as well. So that's helpful. And your passengers in the vehicle really appreciate that, that you've gone that extra mile to protect, the occupants.
Yeah, and it also, not only that, it just looks really cool when you're inside.
It's a sportier feel for sure.
Yeah, like all of the extra accessories. You've got a roof rack, you've got rotopacks on the back, and I'm sure you utilize your roof rack.
Yeah, I love the roof rack. It's a non-typical roof rack, which is adjustable for overlanding and to put your rooftop tent on, because it's got the 2-inch piping around it, but it gives the Jeep an overall more aggressive look.
I think so. Definitely with that Fastback hardtop that you have going on there. Do you prefer that over a soft top?
It's kind of seasonal. During the summertime, the hardtop comes off and more free air traveling design.
Yeah.
But at the still gives it that fastback look because the roll bar is in a fastback configuration. And then the hardtop is also a fastback, and that's a DV8 Ranger hardtop. And I've had that lineup as well.
If you are interested and want to check out more about Will's Jeep, you can find his page on the site. And for those of you watching here on YouTube, you can click the link down below to check it out. Could you give me a little bit more information about your lighting? Well, the Oracle Grill really stands out. It's something that you don't see every day. Can you tell us a little bit more about your lighting?
I wanted to do something a little bit different. I think it gives it a different look that improves upon the overall build of the Jeep, which is a very unique lighting system. And if you want something really different for your Jeep, that is a really cool addition to put on. It's got LED projection lights on it. They're pretty bright. The Oracle Grill works quite well. And on the trail, when you turn those lights on, you don't have any issues. The lighting on the Jeep, I think I have over 30 lights on the Jeep. Well, I can definitely see where I'm going now. I definitely went overboard with that.
Hey, that's okay. Everybody goes overboard with their Jeep. I know that you have a Super Chips tuner as well as a pedal commander. Can you share a little bit of your experience with that?
Absolutely. So the pedal commander, I would think is probably the biggest jump. That immediately, I mean, that's just a huge difference. Huge difference because the throttle body is controlled electronically on these newer Jeeps. So as soon as you put the pedal commander on there, it's night and day difference.
And do you have any of those engine bay mods? Do you have an upgraded throttle body? Anything going on there?
Yeah, so I started doing some engine modifications. I've got an Injen cold air intake on it, and then I've also got a BBK throttle body assembly, and then a custom exhaust system which cuts off early, so it's before the rear axle. It's quite loud. So you can probably tone it down a little bit if you wanted to put on a different muffler, but there's a Flowmaster on mine. But if you want an aggressive sound and you want the thrill of the motor when you're out there.
Some people want a quieter exhaust system to kind of get around. They want to hear it when they get on it, but some people really live for that like cold startup, really deep tone, really throaty exhaust system. And Flowmaster, they do a really good job at that. I know you have a pretty mild lift on your Jeep right now, but I know you want to get into a bigger lift in the future, a couple more components. Can you tell me about the setup that you have now?
Okay, so I have a TerraFlex 3-inch lift right now with Fox 2.0 shocks and a Fox steering stabilizer up front. The lift that it has on right now works quite well. I haven't run into many obstacles that I haven't been able to accomplish, so it does quite well.
And not only with the suspension, but those fenders are going to help you out as well.
Yeah, so to touch on the fenders, that was a huge thing without doing any other lift modifications. Just putting the Smittybilt XRC fenders on it, that gave me at least another 2 inches of wheel travel underneath the fenders. That was incredible. But I am considering going up to a 5 to 6 inch lift with 39-inch tires.
Oh, sweet.
So whenever you go to that drastic of a lift, as most Jeepers already know, you need to be changing your gear ratio, you need to be changing your axles. It's going to have 60-60 axles from Dynatrac.
Okay.
So 60 in the front, 60 in the rear. I'm going to stick with 513 gearing, because the vehicle's still used on the freeway. It's not going to be, It's not an everyday driver, but it's still going to be driven around to get to A to B.
Driving your Jeep a lot, you don't necessarily need the steepest gear in order, because I definitely think that that's a great idea with kind of balancing it out and going with a 513. I think that's a solid gear. Are you planning on going anywhere with your Jeep?
Oh yeah, so I haven't done the Rubicon yet, and I do plan to do that. I was going to wait until after I've got the new axles on it. And I am putting a supercharger in the engine.
Okay.
So that's going to be modified as well.
That's all the pickup you need, man.
That's right.
That's sweet. Not your average Jeep.
Well, I got to admit though that ExtremeTerrain has really gone above and beyond when it comes to the accessories on the vehicle. And anytime I had a problem with fitment or a question on any of the equipment that I've bought, they've always been right there. They've been willing to help me through. They've emailed me diagrams, sent me separate instructions, or talked to me on the phone. Whenever I'm doing these modifications, they've been very helpful.
sometimes you really gotta mess with it in order to get on. But I'm so happy that our customer service team is able to be there and be such a big help in building your Jeep. I just want to thank you so much for connecting with me and going over your build. I know you have a lot of work to do, so I will let you get back to that. Again, thank you so much for sharing your Jeep build with me.
Thank you, Meredith. I appreciate talking to you.
Yeah, of course. So that's going to wrap it up for this video on the customer car build page series. So if you are interested in checking out Will's build, you can find that right here on ExtremeTerrain.com, or if you're on YouTube, again, you can click the link down below to check that out. Now don't forget to subscribe as well as like this video for more cool content like this, as well as other product install videos, and always keep it right here at ExtremeTerrain.com.